All right, coming to you from Silver City, New Mexico. It's Tuesday, March 30th, 11 a.m.
March 30th.
Yeah.
It's a special day for both of us.
Yeah.
2 years ago, on this day, probably around this time, we both started our Appalachian Trail through hike. 2019.
Yeah, I think you started later than I did.
I started like 2 p.m.
Oh, crap, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I left Hobart at like 7.
Damn.
Probably got there around 9. And
Wow.
probably was on trail by 10.
Did your parents drop you off?
Erica
did. Okay.
Nope. Shout out to Erica.
It's a special day.
Yeah, and we're at Denny's now. Shout out to my dad for instilling me with great taste in diner food.
Well,
They still have a claw machine here. It's not turned on, but I wish it was.
fun zone.
So we're actually taking the Zero now, which we probably already mentioned. But yesterday was quite a day.
Yesterday was quite a day.
Yeah, a lot of stuff
I almost
happened.
died. It was epic, though.
It was epic. The scenery was
Well,
really
it
cool.
started out, we were at that campground, woke up, started packing up, and you were like, I have a flat tire.
Again.
Again.
Yeah.
On the new tire, a new tube.
Yeah, it was surprising. The tire that I have is a Vittoria training tire, so I don't think it's really made for any kind of off-road. It's very thin, and there's so many spiky things out here, like from thorns and like just those little sticker things. I think those could probably puncture the rubber pretty easily. So I really need to get a Michelin, or not a Michelin, but a Schwalbe marathon. And so one of our plans today is to go to a local bike shop, and hopefully they'll have that.
With Martin.
Martin, cheers, mate. I'll help you with your chain ring. But yeah, so we started the day. I had to fix that. All the bathrooms were closed at the campground that we were at, which was lame. So we had to go dig holes and stuff. But we were on the road by like 9.
Yeah.
We didn't have any breakfasts or anything like that. No special breakfasts anyway.
No.
But we had plenty of water, so we knew that there was a campground store that was just down the road a little bit. So we headed that way, but there was a bridge that was out.
Oh, yeah.
And so Allie and I always get into a little bit of an argument about whether or not, or how to proceed in those situations.
Yeah.
And so things got heated for a minute, but ultimately we made it across the bridge.
Yeah.
And with a bit of a sour taste in both of our mouths, probably. We got to the campground, which was sort of weird. Speaking of which, we have those postcards we need to send out today, too.
Yeah. It was a weird campground.
It was
a
weird.
weird store, too.
Yeah.
But they had our classic frozen or refrigerated Jimmy Dean breakfast sandwiches.
Which all were pretty bad.
Terrible.
Yeah.
But we got them. They did have bathrooms there, so for what it's worth, we didn't poop in them, but I got to put on my chamois butter.
Yeah. Yeah, so we headed out. It was probably about 10 o'clock by that point.
Yeah.
And I think that's about when things started to open up, because we took that left onto the road.
Yeah.
And then we went up, started climbing, and there was that family up there that was pooping on the side of the road. But yeah.
Their childhood was.
Presumably.
Not all 4 of them.
Yeah.
But they could if they wanted to. Who cares?
Yeah. It's BLM. But
Yeah, and we started climbing, like, as we went under the underpass on the highway. It was, like, steep, and I was like, oh my god, is this going to be what it's like to get to Emery Pass? I had a hard time believing that, but...
Yeah. Yeah, it was...
Because, like, you'd go to the fucking moon if it was that steep for 20 miles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it kind of leveled out, and we were, like, at a 1% grade for, like... I don't even know.
It was so pretty, though.
Yeah,
like,
it was cool.
You could just see the mountains in the distance. We had heard rumors that there was snow on top of the mountains, which there was. It was, like, very small amounts.
Yeah.
On the south side that doesn't get any sun, apparently.
Yeah.
But we were, like, trying to make out the snow and just the different textures on the mountains.
And, like,
the
which
different
mountains
layers of the desert, too.
Yeah.
It was cool to see like the brown stuff rise into the green stuff and then like the black stuff at the top, because that pass and area had a huge fire in 2013.
Yeah.
So the mountains were literally black. There was no green trees on them on the side that we were seeing.
Yeah.
But it was so pretty. I really enjoyed that part of the day.
And we got to a little town, I guess it was Hillsboro first. That was like the first landmark in between on our way to Emory. And had lunch there on a bridge. There were no stores, no nothing.
A lot of land for sale, though.
Yeah.
A lot of houses for sale.
Yeah. If you're into that kind of thing. We met two cyclists.
Professionals.
Yeah.
About everything.
They had a lot to say about the area and about biking. And they were also heading up to Emory Pass, and then I guess going back to Albuquerque after they finished that. I thought that they were staying at the lodge, but
maybe their car was parked there or something.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, they were like, yeah, we're gonna just cruise up to the top and come back down and drive to Albuquerque. So we'll probably see you on our way back down and see you guys suffering up the mountain. And you're like, haha, yeah, whatever.
I expected that to be the case.
Yeah, me too.
They had titanium bikes, so I mean, they have like the lightest, strongest bikes you can have, and they had no gear. So I was like, yeah, I mean, even if you suck at biking, you're gonna get up a mountain faster than someone who is good at biking and fully loaded.
You don't lost it.
No. But anyway, we bid our due to those dudes and then headed on. There were a few other not even towns, but little villages, I guess, and campgrounds that I was hoping we'd be able to fill up water. And so we made our way from Hillsboro, and the climb really started to occur. And we got to...
Would you like a water?
I'm good, thank you.
We got to Kensington.
What?
Kensington.
No.
No? Is that not what that place is called?
No. Kingston.
Oh, yeah,
Like
whatever.
Jamaica.
Same thing. Yeah. Kingston.
Kingston was like maybe a third of the way up the climb.
Yeah. We were still 49 miles away from Silver City. And it was like probably 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Yeah. So, not looking great for getting there before sunset.
Yeah.
But still doable.
But we rolled into Kingston, and there was like nothing that there was stuff there, and it was really cool. But there was no people around, and we were looking for water. We stopped at the fire station, assuming they would have a spigot or something. They didn't. But then this dude cruises up on his little Polaris thing.
Roosta.
Class of 2013 AT hikers, and he saw my patch on my bag. He was like, oh my god, you're AT hikers too. So we talked about that a little while. He talked about like what life is like there.
He was a cool guy.
He works at the lodge, and he met apparently the owner or whoever, that older lady in the lodge. He met her on the AT, and she like introduced him to that area.
Oh, is that what he was saying?
Yeah.
The old lady?
Yeah. I don't think they were a couple. I hope they weren't a couple.
Huh. I didn't think
I think they were just friends. But yeah, she was, I don't think she was a thru hiker, maybe a section hiker or something. But she introduced him to New Mexico, and he's been like at the lodge ever since, living and working there. And she makes like these straw
like adobe
clay
style.
structure houses, and she like is an expert. She does workshops and classes. They have like a little festival in the town every year, like a music folk festival, and it just seems so cool. And everyone had little gardens and like little airstreams everywhere. He said they get a lot of van life people come through that area. There's tons of hiking and biking around in the Gila National Forest, which is where it was. And he said he does like animal conservation projects or something.
Yeah, he mentioned.
Which sounds so cool.
I don't know what type, like, because he mentioned Ted Turner had a bunch of land around the area.
Who is that?
Turner Broadcasting. Ted Turner. He's like the guy.
Is he a politician?
No, he's just like a billionaire. Like he's like really, really wealthy. I think he's based out of Atlanta originally, because Turner South is like it's like a media mogul. But he does own like huge ranches throughout the United States, like I don't know, thousands of acres or something. He's one of the wealthiest people in the country. And I don't really know why. I know he's involved with media, but it seems like he kind of stepped away from all that a long time ago. Anyway, Roosta was cool.
He was so cool, and his little life there seemed so cool.
If we hadn't had Airbnb reservations, it might have been attempting
To stay there.
to stay at the
Yeah,
Black
for
Lodge
sure.
or whatever. We could probably stay there on the way back.
Yeah, that would be awesome. We told him that we'd be back.
Yeah. It would be a cool spot to go through. I don't know
Yeah.
how well the van would do. I mean,
Ooh.
it was not super steep getting up to there. It was like 7%, like 9 at the most.
Yeah.
But
The turns, though.
yeah, the turns and the van and yeah, getting stuck up there. Who
Dude,
knows?
what if the wheel bearing went out, like, going down Emery Pass?
I wouldn't really be
That
surprised,
would be
honestly.
so terrifying, though.
Yeah, I really don't like driving that van like that.
No. And weird that we can't do that, because the van's in...
That's true, it's in
or
Texas,
close to
yeah.
Texas.
Yeah,
We wouldn't come west with the van.
right.
But if we have, like, a little rental car or something reliable, I would love to go back there.
Yeah, motorcycles.
Maybe look at some properties.
Motorcycles.
Because he said everyone, the median age there is 65 plus, and they're all like dying out. So
Yeah, he
he's
said-
hoping that younger people buy the properties and houses, and they like revive the community. And I was like, I want to be a part of that.
It's tucked away.
Yeah,
It's,
the population is like 40
Yeah.
or less,
Yeah,
depending on who dies.
yeah. That main street that we were on too just kind of stops eventually.
Yeah.
and keeps going up.
I really liked that town. I was like fantasizing about a little life there. Although it probably gets really cold.
I'm sure it
In the
does.
winter.
I mean, that was probably at like 6,000 or 7,000 feet.
Yeah,
So for sure,
yeah.
this might be our food.
Pause.
All right, we're back. Still the same day. Breakfast came. We went out. Went to a dispensary that couldn't service us. God, this is like destroying my butt. Sitting on this
Sit
thing.
on the floor.
Okay, that's nice. So, had a good breakfast at Denny's. A nice chill time with some of our fellow travelers. And walked to the dispensary. Like I said, they turned us away. Went to a bike shop. I got a new tire. This will be it'll be the third tire I've had on this trip.
Damn.
Hopefully it's the last one I have to get. So need to do a little bit of rejiggering of that system. But anyway, I think we were talking about we'd gotten to Kingston.
Yeah.
Right. Met Rooster. Got some
Kingston
good
was
water.
cool.
Kingston was cool.
And then we had like 2,000 more feet to climb up to Emerald
At least,
Pass.
yeah.
It was like 8 miles.
It was pretty hot too, it's like crisscrossing. There were a lot of switchbacks. It was graded pretty well.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a crazy East Coast climb that's just like 13%
Straight
for
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
thankfully,
it was really pretty.
yeah,
It was gentle enough. We had some wind, but it came and went as we went back and forth on the switchbacks.
which wind is sort of a double-edged sword because it was nice when it would come because we would get really hot in between
Yeah.
not having any, but then once the wind came back, then we had like a headwind pretty much, which is the order of the day around here. But
Yeah.
got to the top, and there was a little viewing area, and there was some informational placards and stuff. And we went up to the top, and our biker boys were up there. The two
Yeah.
guys we had met in Hillsboro. So,
And it seemed like they had just got up there.
yeah, I don't
They
think...
were really surprised that we were up there in that time.
hmm
Like, wow, you guys are strong. I'm like, no shit, dude. We've done this before.
Yeah, we're 1,100 miles in at this point, and this is like an 80-mile day with a pass.
Yeah.
That was like 7,000 feet of climbing. But
For me, it was a little bit of like a hostile conversation
Yeah.
situation. They gave me shit for my shoes, as always. I told them I wore open-toed sandals on the Trans Am, and they're like, why would you do that? I'm like, well, it works for me. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever.
yeah,
Don't fuck with me. I like my shoes.
yeah. So we hung out with them for a minute. It was kind of windy and cold up on the pass,
Yeah.
in the viewing portion of it anyway. So we didn't stay too long. We had some snacks. We were both pretty low on water at that point. And I don't think we got any more for the rest of the day. Or we weren't low on water, but that
We
was
had
the
just got
last...
some at Kingston.
Yeah.
But that was the last place to get water.
Mm-hmm.
I was really low on food. I did not have many snacks left.
You
I
say
was
that.
feeling worried.
But you gave me so much food. You gave me 2 Nutrigrain bars,
Oh,
2
yeah, but like,
good food.
yeah. Food that I can actually get down.
Yeah, all the stuff I ate was gross that you gave me, and I've gone to the bathroom 4 times today, so perhaps no coincidence. Yeah, so we started the downhill, which was nice. I think in total we probably did about 20 miles of downhill
Yeah.
throughout the day, cumulatively. But we did probably like 30 miles of uphill.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was at the end.
Yeah.
And it was unfortunate because your computer, my computer, and then the map from the ACA all kind of made it look like it was either going to be really hard or really easy.
I think my computer was the most accurate with, like, looking at the elevation upcoming.
Mm-hmm.
It felt pretty accurate with, like, all the hills and stuff.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we descended, and it was pretty cool. We went into like a little canyon thing that was much more cool and scenic than the area that we had come up on the other side of the
Because
mountain.
the other side of the mountain didn't get the forest fire.
Mm-hmm.
So there was, like, trees and water and looked like a real forest. It was neat. And I thought that we crossed the CDT on Emery Pass, but apparently not.
Yeah.
I feel like we have probably crossed it already at this point.
Is the CDT
Well,
blazed
maybe.
at all?
No, I don't think
Probably
so.
not. It's like this, the PCT or something.
Well, that's not blazed either. They
Yeah,
just have
like
the trail
it's like the
emblems.
PCT.
I think they have some trail emblems along the trail, but
Mhm.
it's not really blazed since there's so many alternates and roadwalks
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, man, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
Even bike packing it at this point seems a little
It's-
intimidating.
not anytime soon.
No way. No. I think we're both ready for a break, but
Yeah.
yeah, so that was cool. But then there was a bunch of other smaller hills that we had to
Yeah.
climb. And after, I mean, Emery's Pass wasn't terrible, but it was. I looked through all of the 19 posts that we've made on Strava and compared the elevation. And I think the biggest elevation day we had before this was about 3,000 feet. And I
Yeah.
think that was on the Century.
Man.
So, and that was with the
That was
tailwind.
with the tailwind.
And that was relatively flat.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all you could do to like get 3,000 feet by going 100 miles, because otherwise it was just not going to be very much elevation. And there's 20,000 feet between here and Phoenix, or Tempe, I guess technically. But that'll be a little bit more gradual, I hope.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we're planning on doing a 75-mile day to Duncan, Arizona, so we'll get out of New Mexico tomorrow, which is
Yeah.
kind of crazy. But
Quick state.
yeah, we're just in the little tail of it. But yeah, at a certain point on the ride yesterday, you started to really feel it.
Yeah. I was exhausted. And it was 2 o'clock by the time we were at the top of Emery, and we knew we had like 40 more miles, plus
Yeah.
like more or around the same elevation that we had already done.
Yeah, we had
Like
about
3,000 or
3,000
4,000
feet.
more feet
Yeah,
left. And I
And-
was like, man.
I was kind of in disbelief. I was just like, it's probably not exactly accurate, but
And it wasn't, because you had said 8,000 for the whole day. And
That's
I
what-
think both of our computers.
that's what the ACA said.
Huh. My computer said 7,000.
That was closer to the mark for
Yeah.
sure.
But either way, like, that's a lot of elevation, and I was really feeling it.
Yeah, I mean that's after, and that's the highest that we've been for a long time elevationally too. So I don't know if the thinness of the air might have been having an effect as well.
Yeah. My throat got really dry. I was
Yeah,
like,
mine did
coughing the
too.
whole time.
Yeah, you were coughing really bad. I was like, it sounded like you had like stuff in your throat.
Yeah. Plus asthma, plus dust in
Yeah.
the air.
And again, just the fact that a full day for some might be just going up to Emery.
Right, yeah.
And we had 40.4 miles after Emery Pass, which was the majority of the day. It was like 58% of what else we had to do. And so, we climbed every hill. We would have little powwows at the top, make sure that we both had water and food and were in the right mindset to keep going. And honestly, I think the worst part of the day was actually getting into Silver City.
Yeah.
Those last, jagged hills that we had to go up, and it was like a roller coaster.
But, so much so that the hills were tall enough that the downhill wouldn't get you even close to the top, so you had to
Yeah.
put in, a solid 5 minutes of work
Yeah.
on a steep hill to get up and
Yeah.
then coast down and then do it all over again. I swear there was, 8 or 9 of
Yeah,
those
there was a
hills
ton.
to get in. And
Yeah.
we were on, a highway, not an interstate, but, a 2-lane highway, and the cars were fast. But there was a bike lane.
Yeah, it sucked, like they always do.
Yeah.
There's debris everywhere.
Dead
My tire
animals.
was slowly going flat all day long. I need to check it because I bet it's flat now. Rear tire's still good though. But yeah, we were pretty in a state when we got here. It was it was twilight for sure. And checking into the Airbnb was really confusing for me. I don't know if it's just because it was a long day or maybe, for sure the instructions
There wasn't
were.
any check-in instructions.
No, there were not. And I think part and parcel of the whole issue for me was the fact that the host had said that the door we were supposed to go in was white. And it is white on the inside of the room, but it's brown on the outside, so I was very confused about which room we were supposed to go into, and, like, I don't know. I didn't know how this place was partitioned, so I didn't, like, go into their living quarter and then have an awkward moment or whatever. But we got in, we got beer, we got food. I don't think we were eating until, like, almost 8 o'clock, and we were both pretty out of it. And unfortunately, the showers here don't have hot water, it seems. I still need to investigate that with my little adjustable wrench, because the little tang that the I don't know, what do you call it, the nozzle thing fits onto is, like, stripped out, so you can't turn it left or right to make the water hot or cold. But that tang should have, like, it should be keyed so that there's, like, a flat area, and I think if I put my adjustable wrench on it, we can turn it so that we can have a warm shower. But it'd be interesting.
Not last night, and it was freezing.
Yeah, it sucked.
An adobe house, which is really cool.
Yeah,
and it's, like, very artistic. And
it is a
neat.
cool spot. It's neat.
It's neat.
But if you don't have a hot shower, then, I mean, what do you really have?
Yeah, and we have just enough space
Yeah.
for our bikes in here.
It's a mess.
And then the bedroom, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a puzzle getting these out of here.
Yeah, it will be.
I'm packing up tomorrow.
I'm going to pack up tonight after we get our resupply.
Yeah.
I should be able to do that pretty easily. But, yeah, sleep was all right.
Yeah.
I think we both kind of woke up a lot. I remember,
hot.
yeah, you woke up and you turned off the heater thing. And then I had a similar sensation to one that I've had at my parents' mountain house, which I think is brought on by eating too much salty food at night without having enough water. But I wake up and I'm like, I kind of have, like, the chills. I'm hot and cold, and I just don't feel well.
That's because you drink beer all night. You don't drink any water.
I only had 2.5 beers, but yeah, I didn't have enough water. I had a couple sips, and I ended up drinking 3/4 of a liter throughout the night. But even that, I don't know. If you drink that much water and then lay down, it sits weird in your stomach. So not the most restful night, but it was better than being in the city park or whatever.
Yeah. Oh my god, that would have ruined me.
Yeah, although we might have slept better in a certain sense.
Maybe. I always sleep better in the tent.
Yeah, me
Feel
too.
Safe.
When you do feel safe, anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, today I think we probably mentioned it's like a red flag warning. So there's like wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour, and they're blowing to the west. No, to the east from the west.
Yeah.
So we would
It would be an
have.
insane headwind.
It would be a terrible headwind, probably similar to when we went through.
Went to Alpine.
Was that Alpine?
Yeah.
Was that Alpine?
Yeah.
That was Alpine? That wasn't. Was that Alpine?
We got to Alpine and got the hotel.
Damn.
Yeah.
Alpine. That was that diner then?
Yeah.
I really don't believe that.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it looked like it, but I just.
It was.
I remember parking the van back there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was just because we biked in versus driving in or something, but my memory of Alpine is very, like, geographically and geometrically different. Like, the buildings were in a different orientation, but it was a different time of the year, too, so maybe that's another part. The sun would have been in a different area and the shadows would have been different.
Who knows?
Not me. So, for the rest of today, just doing little errands.
Yeah.
Got a resupply.
Mm-hmm.
Got to go to a different dispensary that's supposed to have reciprocal honoring of out-of-state medical licenses.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if that's true. How did you say the artist's name for that painting? Remembrant?
I don't know.
I think you called it Remembrant last night. It was cute. Rembrandt.
I don't know. I don't even know what that is.
It's a famous painter. My uncles Stephen and Jim could probably tell you all about it. It's a fancy.
It's a fancy.
It's a fancy.
I know it's Greek.
Well, Rembrandt's not, but
Well,
Aristotle
yeah,
is, right?
yeah.
Who is it? Aristotle and who?
Homer.
Oh. Wait, is it Aristotle and Homer? Huh. Aristotle. Yeah, huh.
I had a rough day yesterday at the end of the day.
Yeah, you looked...
I think I pushed my body way too hard, and then, like, it was really bad. I was crying a lot at the end of the day. Not for any reason, but just because it was like everything caving in at once.
you get this bewildered look on your face, like it's like simultaneously devoid of emotion, but then also like on the precipice of crying, and it's just like I guess it's sort of like the balance you have to strike because you still have to keep going and everything.
Yeah.
So you like are in a sense emotionless, but then if you have one drop of difficulty that adds to your emotionless cup, it overflows with
Yeah.
emotionality.
Which I don't think was a bad thing.
I never
but
said it was
I
either.
did not enjoy the last part of the day. And
It
I was
was
having
a-
a really hard time. So
Yeah.
today is like a mental and physical
Yeah.
recuperation period.
And for all those who might be listening who have never done a century before, it's really a good indication that a century in and of itself is not difficult.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you have to do a triple digit mile day doesn't
Yeah.
mean that it's going to be harder than anything you've ever done. A better indication is elevation.
Yeah, man.
Because a 77. I mean, we felt fine at the end of the
I
century.
felt great at the end of the century.
Where did we end that day?
Marathon.
Oh,
campground.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was fine.
perfect. Mhm.
Yeah, we both. I mean, I think you were a little out of it because I remember we were kind of snapping at each other at the Mexican restaurant a little bit
Maybe.
because I think tensions were high. I was in a rush to make sure we got everything
Yeah.
we needed. But yeah. I mean, it's just the physical exertion is what you really have to pay attention to, and nothing will wear you out faster than climbing.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's a headwind, which hopefully you don't have to worry about that.
Or
But
sometimes you're lucky enough to get both.
yeah. Did I already say that we're supposed to have 2 days of tailwind on the?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So for some strange miraculous reason, we're supposed to have 2 back-to-back days where the wind is coming from the east, blowing west. And I think, Allie and I both have been struggling since wind has become such an important part of this trip to understand what the forecast means when it says that the wind is westerly.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, that means it should be blowing west.
Right.
But it's not. It's blowing east,
It's
coming
it's
from the
coming
west.
from the west, yeah.
That to me doesn't make sense. I don't know why my mind has such a difficult time wrapping around that concept, but I feel like that's a semantic issue with I don't know. It's like someone arbitrarily made that the way that it is, and it's not for me intuitive.
Yeah. But it should be good.
Dude,
It'll
2
be nice to
days
get
of
out of
tailwind.
here
It will be nice.
tomorrow.
It's always nice to get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's nice to recover while you can.
Yeah. It's going to be over quick. I mean,
Yep.
I always say when we get back on our bikes, I'm like, well, that was over very quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got some stuff to do.
Yeah.
It's 12:50. Hopefully the rest of the day elapses quickly enough to where we're not bored, but then slowly enough to where we're enjoying it and
Yeah.
not worrying. We can't really spend too much time outside because the wind is supposed to be so bad, but I think after we resupply and get our treats, if we do, it should be good.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
No?
That's about it.
Yeah. Probably don't need very much in the way of resupply.
Yeah, that's true.
So, alright.
All
Well,
right.
I need to switch out some tires.
Mhm.
We gotta head on.
Yeah.
Alright, y'all.
Cool. Bye.
Love you, bye.